Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Life Fishing Podcast. I'm the host, Jimi Eastring, and today, man, this episode's a good one. I have Dakota and Dalton Reid, who were your 2023 Arkansas Game and Fish Commissioner Cup champion, and which I think is the biggest high school tournament in the state of Arkansas. Of course, in bass fishing, you have different circuits, different kind of state tournament levels, but I think this one is the biggest one out of all of them. And part of that is, man, the event it's unreal for these kids. I mean, if you come to the event, see the sponsors that's been put into it, the gifts, everything they get, man, there's not an event like it right now in the state. And I mean, it is very neat for the kids. Me as a coach, being a part of the tournament in a couple years, man, it's fun. And so I have these two on it, and hopefully in the future of the podcast, I get the next winners on it. Guys, on this podcast, man, I mean, we get into a bunch of topics of bass fishing. We get to know a little bit about Dalton and Dakota as well. And as you might, see from the title, if you clicked on it, they didn't have LiveScope and won this big event. And right now on the topic of bass fishing, in the bass fishing world, the whole debate is, should it be allowed in tournaments? Should it be allowed, period? And everybody's acting like it is you have to have it to win, and you hear that, but it still goes to show you do not. And so that's something we talk about, we get into, and guys, it's a good one. So just stay with us on it. Like I said, it's neat for me to be around kids who love the sport, because guys, right now fishing's something I know for me you can do for a long time, and there's a lot of older people that fish that I know. Okay, older than me, right? I mean, I think I'm old, but I got years to go, man, years to go, right? So. But the youth, if you look at the numbers of the license and everything, there's not. I heard at the Arkansas Game and Fish banquet, the license I think are getting less and less each year, and so right now, man, we got to get the youth involved, and so it's always good to see kids that love it. Me as a high school fishing coach, man, it's just something I've always had a passion about with the outdoors is fishing, because anybody can do it. Fishing is what you make it. Now, enough with me rambling, guys. Let's get into the podcast, okay? And hey, man, here we go. Let me know what you think about it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not shared it. Leave me a comment what you think about any of the topics we talk about. Guys, hey, Jimi Eastring here on the Real Life and Fishing Podcast. I got two special guests today, Dalton and Dakota Reid, your 2023 Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation Cup champions, Commissioner Cup champions. A lot of words there. I appreciate having you guys on. Thank you for joining today.
It's an absolute honor to be on this podcast. Just talk some real life stuff and talk some fishing.
Yes, and guys, with this podcast, I know I didn't just do some crazy intro like I've done on the other ones, but I just want everybody to know that with me on this podcast for the future, I want to have the champions on it every year. And luckily here, I kind of knew y'all kind of knew more about me maybe than I knew about y'all. But this cup was pretty neat how y'all won, how I met y'all before y'all won the cup, there at Trader Bill's. And just kind of share a little bit of y'all's fishing background, and we're going to get into this on this y'all winning the cup and the championship, but just share a little bit. Dakota, go ahead and share a little bit real quick.
Well, fishing background, I guess it all started when I was probably 10. Younger than that. Anyway, so,
six or seven, I'd say.
Dad and Grandpa always crappie fished, and I got bored of crappie fishing. I loved fishing, but I couldn't. It was crappie fishing too slow.
Yeah, sounds about right. Crappie fishing, man. There's a lot of guys I know right now that love it. And I might have to do it one day. I love eating crappie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I might have to do it one day. But not right now. I like to go.
Mm-hmm.
Bass fishing's hard.
Yeah. See, Grandpa would just sit on the brush pile. Mm-hmm. Then he knew where it was in his head, and he'd throw it 100 times. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready to go.
He's one of the old guys that every time I come here, I catch him. So if I'm here long enough, I'm going to catch him.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's I'm just oh, can we,
Now, hey, I love crappie. I can eat them. I can fillet. I can not fillet. I can cook them. Mm-hmm. I can cook them with the best. But real quick, so y'all had, what was y'all's weight in the Commissioner Cup?
18.66.
18.66 for a 5-bass limit. Now, guys, the weekend before was the BFL, right? Or was there was a tournament the weekend before?
There was a tournament. It's not an actual tournament or anything. There was a firefighter tournament.
Yep. Okay, but the weights were down, right?
Oh, yeah. The weight, I think it took, 13.5 won that one. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. But I know a couple of guys that fished in it, and the guy I know finished in 6th with 7.5, 8 pounds somewhere in there. So the weights were down.
Yeah. So y'all had at 18 pounds is big at Hamilton. I mean, guys,
there was a 1254 caught there.
I know. Let's talk. That's another story. That's night fishing at summer. Right? But 18 pounds is big at Hamilton. I mean, I'm just gonna say, if you look at tournament results in the history, even this winter, there were 2 big bags I know brought in. Matt Baker brought in one. Curtis, I don't know Curtis's last name, but he had a big fish.
Yeah.
Curtis might have had one of the 10s. I don't know. Quote if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, guys. But Curtis, I think, caught one of the 10s this winter.
Brian caught a 10 out there this winter.
Yeah. So there's been some big fish caught. But that 18 for a high school tournament is pretty big. Y'all had 1 day of practice. Y'all also
Easter Sunday.
Yeah, y'all also caught a 7, right? It was
694.
694, which is a big fish in Arkansas. Like I don't care. Like that's a giant fish in Arkansas. But behind that, let's talk about the thing I think is cool. I want to get into this real quick. What'd you catch it on?
5XD.
5XD, right? And so we talked at Trader Bill's the night before.
Yeah, when y'all two were talking at Trader Bill's,
you weren't there.
I wasn't there. I was commentating, I think, the 9th inning of a district tournament softball game.
Yep.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah,
and so he sent me a picture of you and him. I was like, what? Why did you get to meet him and I didn't get to meet him?
Yes.
And I'm like, I think the girl had thrown like 130 pitches that night. And it was dark. We were all ready to be out of there.
Yeah.
And he sent me a picture of that. And my broadcasting teacher, he made a joke. We were leaving. And he looked at me and he goes, well, I guess you got a tournament to go win now. I'll see you Monday morning.
Yeah.
Didn't even think anything of it. Now here we are.
Y'all
champions.
you won. Yes. So, and we're gonna talk more on that win. And so we caught that one on the 5XD. So guys, just so you know that's watching the podcast, Dalton Dakota watched Fish the Moment, Bass Fishing Declassified. And so they knew me.
You posted a video today, by the way.
We did post a video today.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you haven't watched it. There's a little bit of sneaky tips in there. So but that one I shared a couple colors that one night. Sorry, I didn't go in all the colors. We'll talk about them after. There's always stuff we talk off air, guys. But anyway,
that's what every podcast.
Hey, I'm telling you still, if anybody wants to give me some money for the Matt Baker stuff, he shared some juice off air. I'm just kidding, Matt. Anyway. But with these guys, okay, so these guys knew me. I didn't know y'all, which is where I learned to now. Like as a football coach in the town, like I was before as a teacher, the town knows me. I know them, the kids, the parents. But with what I do now, like people will just come up and say, "Hey, you're Jimi from Declassified," and I'm like, so people know me, but I don't know them.
Yeah,
which is fine, and I'm just getting used to it. So you guys watched and knew. You see, I fish Washita some of the lakes to gray. I love to gray, and
besides the grass, I don't like the grass.
Yeah, we'll talk about the grass later. So, but. Dakota asked, talking about like they found some, you thought y'all did. You're like, hey, I think we found some fish in practice. Having a hard time getting a bite. And you asked, what would I do? Like on these fish.
I asked that?
I think you did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you asked. But what would you, that's how we got the crankbait. You kind of asked.
Well, I did the crankbait because like a couple days before you posted the video about the cranking and the Magnum trick worm on the shakehead.
Yeah. And so I mentioned, I was like, hey, this time of year, dude, throw a 5 or 6 XD right off the bat. And then that morning, was it second or third cast, or what was it?
No, you caught that like 2.5 that we ended up calling by.
Yeah, I caught like a 2.5, like second cast. And then it went on, it's probably 30 minutes into the day. The wind was blowing straight up on the point, and Dad and Dalton, everything that we caught in practice that was worth doing anything with was on Carolina rig. And Dad's just back there going, he said, we need to be sea rigging. We need to be sea rigging.
That's what I do. That's all I do.
That's the same thing he was saying.
Yeah, it's a sea rig, which is a staple out there.
And then about the 50th time, he said, you need to throw a sea rig. That rod's locked up.
And it was before he bought his actual cranking rod, which he bought this summer. And I was like,
the big fish eat a crankbait though.
Yeah, they do.
Like, hey, you might not go catch 5, 6 pounders, but you're going to catch one.
Yeah.
I mean, now, and there are some lakes in Arkansas where
it's better than others.
Yeah, but Hamilton's still one that they'll eat it.
Yeah, Hamilton has proved itself to be an amazing fisher in the last.
No, it's quietly really good.
It's on the uppity up, in my opinion.
It is. What can hurt Hamilton, and I'll just say it live, I don't care, and I hope people hear this, is like we've been catching these big fish at night.
Yep.
Are we, and I know that people fishing, and I'm not going against them, but like, I know they're weighing them and they're releasing them, but are they still alive? Or are they dying 2-3 days later? Because there's been a big mortality of showing fish dying later, not right away.
Because they catch them deep off brush piles.
Yeah, or it's just hot. And there was that one study that was shown, and I'm not like a bass biologist, but there's one study at ICAST that was announced that like they're still like looking into it. But if it's the water's over 80 degrees, there's like a 70% chance fish in a live well like they're going to be brain dead, and like they might swim away with their brain dead. And so Hamilton, it will continue to be on the up if these fish are living. They can keep spawning because Arkansas, and I'll say it live, we don't have all the resources and everything to make our fisheries great like Texas. Texas has more money. Texas puts more into the bass fishing. Arkansas does more overall. I know a lot of guys in the game and fish, like the Rangers and the guys, and they do everything they can. But we as anglers got to do a good job of taking care of fish, and I think that's where we failed. Like we have, like Hamilton this year, for example. Before y'all's tournament was May or April?
April 29th.
End of April. Which is kind of still spawning, but into the spawn.
Oh, it was post-spawn. They spawned extremely early on.
Yeah.
Early on Hamilton,
and
which
so,
is what made our pattern work.
True. But with that is true. With
because those are all post-spawn
Yeah,
fish.
I know how y'all caught them. They were some skinny fish. Y'all had 18 pounds of post-spawn fish.
Yep. Yeah. What do you think it would have weighed like pre-spawn?
Oh, it depends, man. 20 at least.
Yeah.
21 maybe. It depends. Man, them fish are so hard sometimes to judge. I'm always a light guy. But like Hamilton this year, the BFL. I know a bunch of guys that fish the BFL. And I don't fish tournaments that people know. I might one day. I'm thinking about it again, but I like doing what I'm doing. But the thing about like that BFL is a spawning tournament. Those guys practice for 3 days. Typically, a lot of guys I knew. They beat up on the fish. Now the guy that won, I don't know him personally, but I'm pretty sure like he didn't beat up on his fish. He knew where they all were on beds. He's a pretty good sight fisherman. He just didn't go catch them, right?
Yeah, because you go catch them, so they ain't gonna bite. Right?
But I knew a lot of guys that practiced for that tournament. They were catching 40, 50 fish a day. Then tournament time comes, they catch 9 pounds. And I'm like, yeah, because you caught them all Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
And
they ain't gonna bite on Saturday.
So it's us anglers. We got to do a better job because Hamilton's a small lake.
No, it's very small.
And it fishes small.
It does. There's, in my opinion, 2 sections to Hamilton: the clear water section and dirty water section.
The bridges, like that bridge is the
bridge. The bridge at Fisherman's Wharf cuts it off, in my opinion.
Yeah. And
I mean, you could technically make it 3 sections in between the 2 bridges.
Yeah.
And then the bridge up to the dam.
Now, one quick on the Commissioner Cup, I want to bring it up. You guys won, and this is just what's great about this cup. And guys, I haven't talked about it yet. I want to. I think this is the biggest tournament in Arkansas. It's the biggest one, I think. There might be 2 or 3 state championships.
There's one state championship, the Arkansas Bass Youth Nation Championship, that was held on Millwood this year, and 2 people from Lakeside won it.
Yes.
They came in like 7th or 8th in the Commissioner's Cup.
But I think this tournament's bigger just because of how much sponsors are involved. The stuff they give y'all is insane. It is wild. Okay, so that's what I mean by big. Like, they a lot of, and Luke Duncan's there. Announcing the trophies. I mean,
it's big.
I mean, it's big. I mean, but with that, y'all guys won, and you didn't have every resource that's out there to fishing right now.
No.
Did y'all have a live scope on your boat?
Nope.
Thank you. How many drafts y'all have on your boat?
We have 2.
So I've got Dalton doesn't.
I don't do graphs.
Yeah.
So we've got, our boat's a Triton X18 with a 115 Pro XS 2-stroke. We've got a TI-12 in the back and a 9 up front. And a Fortrex.
Fortrex. I'm not going to lie, guys. I got a Fortrex. The guy that was on the show previously, who's one of the best anglers in the state right now, Matt Baker, has a Fortrex. Old Trexes are cool. I've been fishing in one lately. And guys, it is nice. After I set the hook on a fish, I can hit it. Now, I forget to hit it typically. But it is nice. Okay, I forget it's there, but it is nice. But I think it's cool that you guys won a tournament this big, and you didn't have all the top resources. And it was nice. I think there was only one practice day, and y'all practiced, or you practiced. Did you practice?
I went Monday, but we didn't go Friday.
Yeah, because I was doing that.
Because cutoff starts Tuesday.
Okay.
So cutoff starts Tuesday. And it ends Thursday, which means you only get one official day of practice. But I went Monday because I had other stuff.
Y'all didn't go out Friday.
We didn't go Friday.
We found those fish
Easter Sunday.
Okay.
We had those fish found early.
Okay.
And when we went Monday, isn't that the day we tried the walk plumper pattern?
I don't remember. I was out there. I was out there every chance I could get 3 months before that. I don't remember.
I think the one day of practice, we're like, well, if the Carolina rig thing fails, we need something to fall back on.
Yeah.
We went shallow to try to fish in docks, and 8 pounds, maybe something like that, was our best 5. Wasn't anything like what we had, but yeah, we didn't practice that Friday.
Yeah, so y'all didn't get the practice day.
No, because I was calling softball games.
Yeah, we were broadcasting.
And he was broadcasting. Baseball.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, I think it's cool that, like, it's still shown that you don't have to have all the top stuff to win.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it helps. I'll tell you guys, like, I'm talking off there, that LiveScope helps if you know how to use it, and if there's times to put it away and not. But I just think it's really neat because, like, there's so much right now in the fishing world, too. Even in high school fishing, college fishing, there's a lot of cheating allegations going on. You know, there was some stuff that's happening in some tournaments. And like Kevin Van Dam said the other day, it starts at the pro level. And they messed up. Like, they got to set a good example. And it's not, and they've not done a good job. That's what Kevin said. He's like, we've not done the best job. But it has trickled down to high school and college fishing. To where it's just, you know, it's, anyway.
It's a little hairy sometimes.
Yeah, it is. So I think it's neat that you guys didn't have the technology. It just goes to show that, like, fishing can be a level playing field.
Well, like, one thing that I've tried to do throughout since we've won the cup is I want all those kids that aren't running a 21-foot glass boat with dual poles and a 250 and all of the everything to realize that they can still go out there and it's worth going out there.
Yeah, it's still worth the fish.
Because I remember on our first tournament, showing up in a fishing ski with a Fortrex, and you're putting in beside, you know, Ranger 521s, and you're like, what are we doing?
You're intimidated.
Yes,
you are. And that's a good point to make. Not be intimidated. Fishing's fishing. And I always, like, when I was a fishing coach, I always told people, you can make it what you want. Fishing's what you make it, and you can do it forever. I mean, and even me, for example, I'm somehow doing this for a living now. I mean, it's paying the bills. I never had the brand new boat. I'm still doing it with a 15-year-old boat. And I worked my way up. And even now, like, I mean, I've been fishing in a newer boat. And by the way, Future Marine Guys is a big sponsor of this podcast. That boat could be for sale right now at Future Marine. It's a 2021 Ranger, 21-foot Mercury Pro XS 250. It is sweet. Okay. If I had the money to get it, I'm getting it.
I agree.
But even like the guy I know that's had it, that wasn't his first boat. He worked his way up. I mean, you know, and so I think that's good just to have goals to work up. If you have all the nice stuff right now, you might not have nothing to look for. Now, everybody's different, okay?
Yeah, I agree.
Every situation is different.
Every situation's different, but make the best of your situation.
Exactly.
Like you guys have. Yeah. And even me. I mean, I fish ponds and creeks. But then as soon as I started fishing lakes, I didn't want to go back.
Well, it's like, you know, and I'm not trying to say anybody's a bad guy here.
Yeah.
But it's like Van Dam said about starting at the pro level. You know, ever since the Ultrex came out, or ever since Forward Facing came out, or all this, all you've heard is you can't do it without it.
Yeah, that's so.
And then you're sitting there and you're going. And then it makes you start wondering.
Yeah.
And then you just got to go prove yourself. And
there you go.
Yeah.
And there's still some guys at the top, like I'm saying Arkansas, for example. Mr. Bass, Trader Bills. There are a few that aren't using it. Or like, they got it, but they might not use it to the fullest.
Yeah, it's like a John Cox kind of did.
Yeah, there you go. And like, we even talk about the Ultrex. What's his name? Thrift just won a medal, and Thrift's, I think, one of the best, like, fishermen.
Oh, yeah.
Thrift just finally went to an Ultrex.
Yeah.
But he did it so long with the Fortrex.
Yeah, he won the Forest Wood Cup on Hamilton on a rip rap over there.
So y'all guys study it. I like it.
Yeah. No, so, I was sitting in the restaurant
watching
on the championship day when he won.
Nice.
Yeah, we watched him catch his first limit.
Y'all really are students of the game. Then.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
My kids right now, if they're anything to listen at Nashville, they are not students of the game. Some of them are, some of them are. But at high school, when I coached there, those kids, dude, like, they knew as much as seemed like as I, or like at least to that point. Like, they might have missed some of the KVD years and the Rick Clun years, but they knew everything that was happening right then.
Yeah, it's impressive how long Rick Clun has been fishing. Because I saw something this morning. He's going out on like St. Lawrence or whatever it was this morning. And he's got like, you know how everybody's got like the inflatable life jacket.
Do that dude?
He's got like the mesh, crappie fishing life jacket.
That guy.
That's crazy.
People
man.
don't understand. Like, I mean, I fished yesterday for 4 hours in the middle 100-degree heat.
Mhm.
That dude's been fishing at like 80 years old or however old he is, like practicing tournaments. Dude, fishing takes a toll on you.
Yeah. It does.
It does. Like, it's not a.
It's not a leisure sport.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're doing it 4 or 5 days in a row and you're out there from daylight to dark and then the tournament, it wears you out in that sun. And so anyway,
and if you're on the big end watchdog, it'll definitely wear you out.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we had a watchdog tournament last year, and it was the day after the big tornado came through Little Rock, and we had fish found
in a creek,
and it's like 8.5 miles from Brady.
Yeah.
And we took off in our little 18-foot aluminum boat.
Oh, y'all learned real fast.
Yeah, and my dad, he's like, "Should we turn around?"
I said, "No,
We're going.
So
we're either gonna sink it or we're going.
Got the nose up, and we ran it all the way through, and we got to the creek, and I caught like a 3.5 and a 3 on Carolina Reed, like the second spot. But yeah, you learn real quick. It's not a leisure sport.
It's not. Now that boat I've been in lately, been in a couple of nice boats. I do feel I'm not drove through any waves or anything, but I had a bigger deck on there fishing yesterday.
Oh yeah, we got an aircraft carrier on our front deck.
But like my bass cat, I love my bass cat, but it's a skinny deck.
Has it got that cutout in it?
No.
Okay, because the Ranger I'm fishing in, when I'm not fishing on him, it's got like a cutout.
It's that old 1980s, before they put the flipping decks in, and it's got like a giant cutout in the middle of it.
The good times.
Oh yeah,
good times. All right, so let's go off fishing a little bit.
Okay.
So you're in school.
I am.
Still in high school. So
unfortunately,
college, high school year, 11th grade.
Yes, I'm a junior at LIVESCOPE.
I want you to share what you're doing right now with the podcast.
Okay, so with my podcast, I have a podcast of my own called Inside the Huddle with Dalton Reid. You can find it at insidethehuddle.org or the Matting Cove High School East YouTube page. What I do is I talk to our head football coach, Mr. Dean Adams, once a week. And then I have a guest call in from wherever in the state. This week I had the opportunity to talk to actually our rival's head coach, and he actually graduated from Magnet and then went to Poland and coached.
So he's at Poland. I'm gonna say, what's his name?
Vic Barrett.
Barrett's awesome. Good dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Barrett.
Yeah.
Talked to Barrett for about 15 minutes. It's a 25-minute podcast. That's what it was this week. But I've got some big people lined up. That I don't really want per se.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because we'll just say we got some, I guess you could say new generation guys, and then some of the guys that have been in media for years. But it's what I do, and then I call basketball and volleyball and softball games, and I'm just kind of the media guy.
Busy kid.
I was busy kid. Hey, and then on top of that, I'm in band.
Yeah.
So when I leave here, I have to go play the football game.
That's what I was about to say. So people watching, I don't know when this is going to get posted, but it's Friday right now. I'm wearing the strap today, okay? They're over here like, you're wearing the strap, so I'm wearing the strap. Because I've coached there for 5 years. It's Friday. I can't be with the strap. Mac know it. It's going to be a good game.
That'll be a good game. That will be a good game.
It's going to be a good game. So I knew you're all about football right now, so I wanted to bring that up. And then I'm wearing the strap. I mean, I'm going to represent.
Oh.
So anyway, yeah.
Hey, at least it's orange, so I can respect that.
At least it's orange and black.
At least it's not purple or yellow. We're playing Poland tonight.
Okay. Dakota, what are you doing right now?
So right now I'm at ASU Three Rivers.
Sweet.
I'm getting my general education there, and then I'm going to transfer. Hadn't figured that quite out where
That's
yet.
all right. You like
and then I'm going to major in psychology and then go on to get my master's in clinical mental health counseling and become a licensed professional counselor and have my own counseling practice.
You got your life figured out. You sound like me when I was your age.
Well,
I had everything planned. I was going to get this, my bachelor's of math degree, which I got. I'm going to coach. I got my principal stuff. I'm going to go be maybe a principal and a superintendent. But then I all of a sudden switched careers. So
well,
you never know what's going to happen.
If I got your opportunity, I would definitely be doing that and not what I talked about.
I understand. Yeah, so I understand. So that's cool. That's what I'm glad you guys are on, and I just wanted people to know a little bit more about you.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Commissioner Cup tomorrow, we got the banquet, which is pretty big. So that was one thing, guys. I wanted to do this. We got the banquet tomorrow. For me, it's my second time going to the banquet.
Yeah, because you were a boat captain.
I was a boat captain to attend this. So it's my second time going to the banquet. It's going to be. See, I still COVID was going on. See, when we won, it
was it on Hamilton when y'all won it? Or was it the Washita?
It was the one. So is this year 4 or 5?
5.
So it was the year 2020. COVID was still going, but COVID wasn't thriving. So it was the year that they said, and I'm glad they did this, but there was only one negative with it, of course, with the economy. Not all the sponsors were there. They still had sponsors, but nothing like y'all guys got, or me as a boat captain. But it was still a sweet event. But what changed this event, it's funny, they made it to where, for safety and to not make contacts, 10 lakes. Everybody had to get the kayak board, and we're going to measure. Now, they had judges, 4 or 5 judges at Trader Bill's. But
That's awesome.
They had,
I don't know.
They had Norfolk. It's awesome. It's not. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the advantages and disadvantages. It was sweet.
So what lake did you go to?
I'll tell you. So they did 10 lakes. They did Norfolk. They did lakes across the state, which once again is sweet. But as we know, fish are different. Now I want to tell you the negative part of it, but we still won because our fish were thick. I'm telling you guys, we had 22, 23 pounds.
But they weren't long.
They weren't long.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 6 fish. It was a 6 fish deal, 3 for each angler, which was interesting. So if you caught 6 20-inchers, you could only measure 3. I think that's how it worked. I might be wrong. But something with kids had to do so many. And they had to do it on their phone. So they got their phone. They had to take the picture. They had to do we had to have the special board. And also with it, the judges, and this was everybody, the judges would cut off inches just to play it safe if they couldn't see. It wasn't just us. But with it, so like Norfolk, Washita, Hamilton, the one down there, the Lake Village area, Lake Chico, I thought that was going to be a player. I think Felsenthal was one.
Did they put on Millwood? Isn't that? Yeah,
So, but here's how it happened with us. And some people know, I don't want to get in trouble. So my 2 kids, Brody and Cannon, fished forever. I coached Cannon at Haskell. Me and Cannon had a great relationship. When all this was going about, of course, it's COVID. Now, Brody and Cannon's boat captain was always Brody's dad. He was a police officer. And with COVID, there's contacts, this and that. So his dad kind of was on the call, like the list would potentially work. They got a hold of me ahead of time because of the, what's it called?
I know what rule you're talking about.
The cutoff rule.
Yeah.
Right? So they got a hold of me and said, hey, can you maybe do it? And I was like, if we're doing it, we're going to Millwood. I'm like, oh, we know. And they wanted to go to Millwood anyway. They were going to go to Millwood. Just because we knew, and like I told them, Washita in June, because it was in June, by the way, not May.
Yeah, the first one we fished was in June on Washita.
It's hard. Now that one, Cole Martin, they still hammered him that day.
Oh, yeah.
They hammered him that day. Like they did. Like Cole and them had a bag.
Cole ended up coming in 12th at Nationals on Hartwell.
Yeah, he's pretty good fishing.
Yeah,
Cole's good. So, and then another guy that Cannon's actually fishing with now, Cody McIntyre, he was at Norfolk maybe. He did pretty good. So anyway, we knew Millwood there was going to be a chance to catch fish, but the whole length thing was a deal.
Yeah, because they're footballs.
They're footballs. So, for me that week, I wasn't sure. Now, I've caught some fish. 2020, and people that know me, was an incredible year for me in Millwood. Incredible. Incredible. Like, I still get goosebumps thinking about how good Millwood was.
You Maylaid them that year, basically.
That year, when COVID happened, I was a teacher.
So
I did one day, like for 5 hours a day, I did all my video lessons for the week. I graded papers. I was a legit teacher during COVID. Those other 4 days, and my wife was working. We had no kids. And this is why people know how I got so good at Millwood and those lakes. This is how. Like, I was fishing them before, but COVID happened. My wife was working every day as a pharmacist. We had no kids. And so I did all my video stuff on Monday. I fished every day. When she was at work, I was fishing. Guys, I know so much about those like Millwood. I didn't fish Derrickson to Queen as much as like I am now. I went to Broken Bow a lot. I lived at Broken Bow.
That's where my mom was raised, actually.
Really? I lived on that lake. Okay.
Okay, guys, I'm actually about to take this segment out of the podcast to where I'm getting into the juice on Millwood, some little particular things I've learned about fishing Millwood throughout the years because it's one of the lakes I've been guiding on. The last 3 months, I've got my guide license, insurance, all that done, and I'm a guide now on Lake Millwood and other lakes down here in southwest Arkansas. Hopefully in the future, looking to move more towards that central Arkansas area. But guys, as you know, Millwood's one of the most popular lakes in the state. It can humble you, and it can also be your best fishing trip ever. And so if you're interested in a guided trip, go check out my Jimi Easterling Fishing Facebook page, and also do electronic trips. Right now, my electronic trips, guys, has been the biggest hit for right now. I don't think anybody that's got me in the boat is not been happy or has learned something. So I've got a lot of good feedback on those trips as well. I know we're in a tough time of the year to fish. Even Millwood right now, it's not easy. But think about, and if you're interested, getting a trip booked up in this upcoming year, definitely in the springtime, okay? I'm going to have only limited available dates for Millwood and these other lakes. And so just if you're thinking about it, go ahead and reach out and I'll get information to you. Also, guys, on the podcast, if you are interested, okay, I'm right now looking for a couple of sponsors, and I have a couple slots for the Real Life Fishing podcast. So if you're interested in having a segment, if you're interested in sponsoring an episode, hey, man, reach out on my fishing Facebook page as well. I have a couple slots available. So here we go. Let's get back to the conversation. Like I said, I just took out a little bit of juice there because I can't just go let everybody know. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, so let's get back to it.
Our 6 fish were not long. They were all like 18, 19-inch 4-pounders. But they won. It's cool.
That's crazy.
It's cool. So, but like Cole's fish, Cole had a dang big, like 23-inch fish, I think. Mm-hmm. Somebody had a 23-inch fish, but it was skinny. You know, it was like Washita, post-spawn fish.
Slender, yeah.
And all of our fish were footballs. They already spawned, and they were coming out. They were coming out to the main lake. And we just ran into them.
That's crazy.
So it's pretty cool. So that's I know how to share the whole story on y'all's podcast. But we're just talking fishing. We're talking. So y'all's dad.
Yes.
He mean a lot to y'all in fishing.
Yes, an understatement.
Understatement. Y'all want to share anything or say anything about him?
First year old.
When I started bass fishing, let's back up. His dad.
Yeah.
Severely disliked bass.
Okay.
They were big crappie fishermen, big brim fishermen, all this. You know, when he was growing up, if they caught a bass, they were leaving. They didn't want anything to do with it.
Okay.
Like if you sit on a brush pond like a 3-pounder or a crab jig,
leaving. So he went from that to what we're doing now.
Which is chasing greenfish.
Yes. So when I first started, he didn't know what a bait caster was. We didn't know what anything was. So we kind of both just learned how to bass fish together.
Uh-huh.
So it's been pretty awesome watching him.
Been a good experience.
Yeah.
Learning experience from both of y'all.
Yep.
So it's not like, and that's what's cool, because once again, each situation's different. Make the best out of it. You do have some kids, families that they fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do.
And they have the money behind it.
They do, and they fish. Mm-hmm. But then y'all scenario, y'all are doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
Which is neat.
Our family has fished.
Not bass fished.
Our family has fished for my great-grandpa, ever.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't want nothing to do with tournament fishing. Yeah. They didn't want nothing to do with a bass. It was so funny. My grandma, she never was able to comprehend why we would go fishing all weekend and turn everything back.
Yeah.
She would get so confused on why I would do that.
And Mom's dad, he always would go up to Washita Tompkins Bend, first, second week of May, and set limb lines for catfish because he loved to catch catfish. We'd get up, he'd wake us up way before we was going to go run. He's like, we got to get out there and bass fish, we're going to cut our lines.
Wow. Yeah. And I've tried.
Bass fishermen.
Bass fishermen.
Man, forget them dudes.
and I've tried to explain, but it's one of those old deals.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
It's a whole different world.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
I'll tell you just something I learned though. If y'all guys don't know, if you catch walleye, keep them.
Oh, they're tasty.
They're tasty.
I remember a time me and my buddy caught a bunch of walleye.
No, they're
Lake
tasty.
Washita. And we were getting ready for a bass tournament. And we caught a bunch. And I go to the houseboat dock that we were staying on. We were staying actually with this guy who's a great dude. And he's now in Little Rock. Jim was his first name. We told Jim we caught all these walleye. And dude, he looked at us and was like, son, I know you don't keep them bass, but you better not ever let walleye go again.
Y'all let them all go?
Oh yeah, I know I did.
Bro.
Here we go. Guys, I didn't know. Actually, probably y'all's your age when I did this. Maybe I don't know.
Oh man.
So I was like, really? I was like, I always let him go, and he's like, no. He goes, if you catch him tomorrow, because it was a good bass haul, and I thought the walleye would have. I thought anyway. So I was like, we're gonna go back. He goes, keep it. So we go back. We fished a tournament. We caught 10 pounds of bass there, but we caught like 7 walleye.
Oh, so good.
So we kept them in the other side of the live well.
Mm-hmm.
We came back and said we got them, and the dude filleted them for us, cooked them, and after
Did
that,
they cheat meat in them?
dude, it was great. I don't know, dude. It was the best. Like, after that, I was changed. I was like, I will never put a walleye back. So I learned that.
Yeah, the one that got me on not turning walleye back was Chris Darby.
Chris Darby, tell me about that.
Well, we were bass fishing and he caught a walleye and I caught a pretty good one. He's like, we're keeping that. I said, yeah, that's like the first walleye I ever caught.
Yeah.
He said, that's the best fish you'll ever eat. I said, really?
Yeah.
And whatever, and we went on and cooked. That was hard.
Yeah, and then
amazing.
another thing with him, the thing I asked about the cheat meat, we were fishing an underspin, and this first time I'd ever seen like forward facing sonar in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, there's a big walleye down there, bass, something, throw at this. And he's like, throw 60 foot out in front of the boat. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. I mean, this is 14-year-old Dalton.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude, you're crazy. So I throw out there, boom, he knocks it. I set the hook. He goes, that's big, that's big. And I get it up, and it's about a 5-pound walleye. And he flayed the side off of it when we got back. He's like, all right, I'm going to cut these cheeks out. Tell your dad to fry them with the broom. I said, dude, you're crazy. No. As it cuts the cheek out, you leave a little fin on. Fry it. Oh, man, that's so good.
That's good.
But, like, Mom likes to, like, grill walleye. So they will stay together, unlike crappie or brim, and you either bake them in the oven or you grill them. That's the best.
Yeah,
one.
that's good.
Like, you could just throw Tony Ketcheries on it and then bake it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, so let's go with this. This just hit me. There's one question I want to ask y'all. Goals.
Goals.
Do we have goals in life? Like, you just talked about yours, but I want to, like, I know you just talked about your goals with mental health. Let's hear your side.
Okay, so I have 2 main goals. Well, they're 2 different career paths.
Sweet.
First goal, if I can go to college and fish, that's what I want to do.
Awesome.
Okay, so I've got like the big win on my resume or whatever. I look to continue that this year. If I can go to wherever and fish, I'll take whatever opportunity I can get. But if fishing doesn't want to work out, I want to do sports media. And I want to go to Washita Baptist with Chris Babb and all them down there. And do that. But yeah, that's I want to graduate high school, obviously.
Yeah, got to graduate high school.
And then either fish or go to OBU or go to some college that I can major in sports media and then be a sportscaster.
OBU's a good one. OBU, Chris Babb's great. I know Babb in my football background. OBU's a great school. I know I was ready. I'm ready. I got 2 degrees from Henderson. But if my kid, James, or my little girl, if they want to, like my wife's ready too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But like
both mom and dad are both.
Yeah, so but if my son wants to go there and I can help or he gets a scholarship, I will say go for it. It's a great school. It's good. And Henderson's in a bad spot. So I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
Before I want to talk about goals,
well, fishing wise, I've already talked about other fishing wise. I still want to tournament fish.
Okay.
I still want to do all the stuff. I just hadn't figured out what yet.
Yeah, which is fine.
Because you're just like, because you have high school fishing and you have our 2 or 3 trails that we have here, and that's your schedule.
Yep.
And then you graduate, you're like, so I want to tournament fish, but now there's 65,000.
Yeah.
Then you have to you're like, okay, well you got to decide to do all that stuff.
Yeah. So with the tournament stuff, to talk about fishing, and I'm going to talk about like goals for life. I'm going to go there. I became a better angler, so I did co-angler stuff right off the bat. And I had good experiences and bad. My first co-angler experience, I got 2nd place at Washita Bassmaster Weekend Series 2008. 16 years old.
2 years old.
Okay, ain't that something? I was 16 years old and got 2nd place in the back of the boat. And I was like, it was a good experience.
You thought you were a big stud.
Well, a little bit. I knew how I caught him. I'm not going to talk about how I caught him because it's just a whole other 20-minute story. But,
Bait. What was bait?
Hair jig and spoon.
Okay. Continue.
I literally jigged a spoon. The dude was fishing a point. And I already caught, the dude gave me a hair jig. He caught a limit with a hair jig. Gave me a hair jig, I caught a 5-pounder. He didn't catch a 5-pounder in his 5. Then, guys, this is 2D sonar, by the way.
Yeah.
We're on this point, 40 foot of water. And at times how he was moving, I could see a brush pile under us. I was like, hey, there's a brush pile under us. Like, have you fished it yet? Man, I mean, and at this time was the last year Washita had grass in a lot of the lake.
Oh, yeah.
So he's fishing grass with the hair jig. And that's where I caught my one at. Anyway, so guys, I had a small little jigging spoon on.
Okay.
Okay.
So not like a big
No.
okay.
This was February tournament.
Oh,
I had a small
yeah.
jigging spoon on. The reason I had a small jigging spoon on, I've caught fish before jigging, but like the Get5Bass.com website said jigging spoon, like some dudes went on jigging spoon. So I had it on. Then just in case as a co-angler, I didn't know what we were going to get with. Guys, I sat back there, I pulled that spoon out, dropped on that brush pile, I caught a 4 and a 3.5 in 30 minutes. So I had a 5, a 4, and a 3.5. You're going to have a 3-fish limit for this tournament.
That's a solid one.
And all my 2, my 4, and my 3 were caught so deep, they were bellied up. They weren't, and we didn't have a fizzer.
Oh.
So I couldn't cull them. So I sat in the boat. I had those by 9 o'clock. I sat in the boat the rest of the day. I was Timmy Horton in it. Like, I sat in the boat and watched him fish. And then I got beat by 2 ounces. So, yeah, I thought I was on top of the world. So, anyway, but back to the co-angler experience. I had some bad experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, I said, forget tournament fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it was I wanted to get better myself. I didn't have, me and Johnny did a lot on our own. We didn't have just
the endless resources.
Yeah, and just we didn't have, like, I love my dad, and he knows, but he was too busy working and doing his thing. He couldn't fish.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have that. So I was like, I gotta get better. I'm not gonna go fish tournaments and give them my money.
Mm-hmm.
So I could fish 10 hours on a Saturday instead of that tournament schedule. I could go fish Washita instead of Greer's Ferry, because there's so many tournaments at Greer's Ferry. I was like, forget that place. It's terrible. Sorry, people. I was like, I'm going to fish Washita to Gray, and then I can go to Texas when I want. That was my mindset. After I had 2 bad experiences. I had a dude as a pro at Washita, great guy, but at the time I didn't know, but his home lake was Wright Patton.
That Texas County?
Yeah, I didn't know Wright Patton at the time, guys. Okay, like I was 20 years old, didn't know what Wright Patton was, and he was fishing the BFLs so he could make the regional that was going to be at a Texas lake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, Wright Patton's the opposite of Washita. We were in the Blakely's fishing. He's trying to flip and march, and I'm seeing and that's what. So I didn't know what I was getting into. But so I paid $150 for this
To go flip bushes in January.
in March.
Well, same difference.
At Blakely, which is the cleanest water in the
And the coldest water.
Yeah, it was 50 degrees. Well, hey, but guess what? Wright Patton, 50-degree water, you can catch and flip, but that water's this color.
Yeah.
I mean, like they live shallow at Patton.
Yeah.
So I know now because I fish Patton, and Patton's awesome place. It is. But after that, I was like, I'm done with tournaments. I'm going to go fish and get good. And then when I'm ready, I'll jump in them. Now, I'm at the point now, like the only tournament I jumped in this year, I jumped in 2, but the only 5-disc tournament I won. Like, I don't fish tournaments much, but I'm saying, like, I got so good, then I did the high school stuff and it made me better. But that's that. So, like, I'm not telling you to go fish all the big tournaments. It's good to fish them. I try to find, like, a club or a $40, $50 entry fee so you don't go broke, because you'll go broke.
Yeah,
the guys at Trader Bills will take your money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take, now, hey, if you go win, it's $15,000.
Yeah,
but you're gonna be more in a hole.
You're going to go broke trying to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and then what that does to you is put stress on you. You don't like it. And so I went fishing and I coached. So fishing was my getaway. So that was my thing there.
So I know we said we were freestyling it.
Yeah.
So I guess the question that's been rumbling around in my head for a while we might as well talk about. Is it still worth it or as productive to fish co-angler now with all of the new advancements as it was, say, 15 years ago when you could watch somebody fish and notice stuff?
So
if that makes sense.
It's like forward facing sonar.
Yeah, because if they sit on a brush pile, they're going to drop shot it.
Yeah.
They sit there, hit the spotlight, look down at it, and you're stuck in a hole in the back.
You're stuck. So with that, you're seeing the opens. The co-anglers are down. BFLs around here, but like the bigger tournament series of co-anglers are down because of that. I think in Arkansas, fishing co-anglers is great. I still say it. And now let's say you get with the guy like let's say you get with the guy that is really good with it, you can learn potentially. But you can still catch fish because I haven't seen the BFL schedule yet. But like Trader Bill's, yeah, it's not Trader Bill's schedule. Mr. Bass don't do co-anglers. Like Trader Bill's schedule, like you can still catch fish with in the back of a boat. I'm just, potentially.
Well, there's a team deal, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like if the BFL was that schedule, I'm just saying, like if it was.
Yeah.
And I don't think in Arkansas as many are as good with it at like that level. I wanted to do the Opens this year as a co-angler. But my goal with that was I was going to do one division, 3 tournaments. I wanted to do that for one reason, a couple reasons. But the entry fees were low. But I was hoping to get Brandon Pollinuk or Jason Christie or Greg Hackney, one of those elite guys. And then I would sit in the boat and take notes. I wouldn't fish. Because Brandon Pollinuk went to Toledo. And there was a couple others that were there. And that there's some that fished those tournaments and or if I got with Ben Milliken. Oh, I'd be like, hey Ben, you go catch your 5. I want to hang out.
I ain't fishing all day. I'm just going to get my notebook.
Yeah, and because you're paying $400 for 2 days guaranteed. Y'all a guide trip at Fort or OHIV is $600 to $1,000.
Oh yeah, I looked up what it was to go with Josh Jones.
Josh is doing good,
dude.
It's worth it though.
It is.
Guys, I had a chance to go with him before it got to $2,000. Twice. But the one time he messaged me. I got on the list. He messaged me when I was up on this list. I had jury duty the next day.
I sent in a notice.
Guys, I had to go to jury duty.
Then
the next time he messaged me, I was going with my wife to a baby appointment the next day.
Oh man, you in a rock and a hard place.
The baby appointment's more important.
No, I don't want
that. But man, he messaged me twice, and I'm off the list now. But I had 2 kind of chances. But I want to go with Josh. It's like I'll tell you guys, and I've told others. I like fishing with those guys because you go and learn. And some people are like, oh, I don't want to go with the guide. I'm like, dude, you're learning. It's like people with me, the people that came with me, they've learned. I mean, you're going to pay for what you get. But yeah, there's that. But hey, real quick, I think let me look. I'm gonna look. I think we're about where I want in time. 46 minutes. Okay, good. Let me go. Last thing I'm going to share with y'all. This is crazy how fast this goes. Huh?
It is.
We've not had any cuts yet either. No. What I want to share with y'all is as young kids, because you're still young and you're still in high school.
Wow.
You're young, that's what I'm saying.
How old are you then?
31. I'm young.
Okay.
But I'm sharing y'all's part with you. Okay. Something I wish I would have got told when I got told at your age about, kind of, but I wish at your age I would have got told this, is to not set your goals too low. Set them high. Set them high. And I know the guy that shared it with me. I was just graduated high school. I kind of think about college, but I never thought of it. My goals at y'all's age or high school was I want to be a high school football coach. Then all of a sudden, after I got told that, my thought changed. I was like, man, I want to go be the Razorback head coach. So, and here I am doing this today. This wasn't one of my goals. It changed. When it was actually 2020. When I was fishing all the time and catching fish and figuring stuff out more, I was like, dude, I can do this for a living somehow without fishing tournaments. And then here I am.
Well, it's just like content creating.
Yeah.
That's exactly if college fishing doesn't work out, I would try something like that because then I would have the media degree.
Well, hey, you knew about all this really well. There's a lot of kids that don't. So creating content's not easy.
No, it's not.
It takes time.
There's
a lot of kids right now that don't. There are a lot of anglers that don't want to do
that because it takes so much time and effort.
Ben Milliken did it though. Ben Milliken worked 4 days a week and then fished Friday, Saturday, got footage, got it together Sunday, and then sometimes he worked at night. His stories, he worked at night, and he had a full-time job, and then all of a sudden, it's different. Yeah, it's crazy. But that goes back to the hard, set your goals high, and right now, don't be scared of content. There's going to be people like me, there's a lot of haters. Talking to a camera's hard. It was hard. Y'all watching my early Fish the Moment stuff. Dude, it's bad. It is bad.
You look down the entire time.
Oh, dude, it was bad, man. Now, I'm used to kind of talking to a camera a lot better.
Well, if you take my footage when I first started doing shows and stuff, and then versus now, it's insane.
Yeah, and my thing was I could always talk to people. Talking to crowds was easy. But yeah, so I just want to share that don't set your goals too low, and then don't be afraid to fail.
Because you're gonna fail.
You're gonna fail. But hey, It's all. I love what KVD's saying. I always took it's always about your attitude.
Yep.
So keep that.
That's
attitude
on the back glass.
Oh, it is. No, yeah, that's been his quote
forever.
Yes, I mean, and it's like him losing fish. I remember watching it because I had a temper when I was young on losing fish, and I'm gonna have a talk about content. I'm gonna have.
Why are you looking at me?
Oh man, when he lost fish.
So
So KVD, I remember watching him lose like an 8-pounder in Toledo or something. He just throws it back out there, and then that hit me. I'm like, dude, I've lost my temper so many times. But like even I got a. It's on my phone. I got a social media clip that'll come out yesterday. I hooked on a big old fish on the spoon, fought it. I go to swing in the boat, and dude, like it comes up out of the water. Like I'm standing on the boat. And that fish is like right here. I could have grabbed it. I go to swing, it just comes up and flips in the air. I'm watching it. It lands back in the water. I laugh, throw it back out there. But like before, if I was like when I was younger, man, mad.
Yeah.
Now if it was an 8-pounder, I might have been mad. It was just a 5-pounder, but still,
it was just a 5-pounder.
Yeah, 4 or 5-pounder, whatever. You know, I've caught a lot of those this summer.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. You know.
But guys, I appreciate you on.
Yeah.
Anything y'all like to say on your way out? To close.
Well, like I've tried to say the whole time, it's a God thing and not an us thing. And, when it comes to fishing, it's, one of the things that, you kind of know it the whole time, but through winning the cup, it really sunk it in was, when it's your time, it's your time. You just got to fish like it's your time all the time.
Yeah. Nice.
But no, I'm really looking forward to this tournament season. We're actually fishing 2 trails. So we're fishing the Trader Bill's high school team trail.
Awesome.
And then we're fishing the Arkansas High School Bastards. So I kick off my tournament season September 9th on the river.
At the harbor?
At the harbor.
Oh, I love the harbor. A lot of history.
Yeah.
I haven't fished there in a long time.
Yeah, we caught a couple last week. Yeah, but it is hot.
Want me to close out with a funny story about the harbor?
Yes, let's hear it.
So my last tournament I won, so before high school fishing, there was a thing called junior bass fishing. There's 2 clubs in the state. That's how me and Johnny met. Junior bass fishing, we had volunteers. Thank you to all the volunteers, if any of y'all listening. 2 kids in the boat or 3, but everybody was a 5-fish limit. So you're by yourself. Okay. Now, also in this tournament, you might not have had to have a boat captain. So there's 3 of us, not me. I was just friends of 3 16, 18-year-olds that had boats. And they got to drive them on their own. So in this tournament, like that last year, my 1-2 buddies had them. So we would practice, not switching their boats. No dads, no captains, no grandpas, just us fishing. So the harbor, I had some history at the harbor. My wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, her uncle's really good there. I got to fish with her once, but it was in the spring. This was a June tournament, but I was so familiar with it. We practiced, found some fish, doing what I like to do, throwing a big old 6XD. Now remember, this was 2009. Okay, so we had a boat with 2D and a map. Okay, so we found some fish with the 6XD, and tournament time comes. It's hot. It's June. There was another tournament going out that day. It was 60 boats, and then here's our little kid tournament, right? Now, also Stephen Browning. This was Bo's first tournament.
Oh,
Bo Browning, little baby Bo Browning and Stephen.
Really?
So here you go. So this is great. This story. This is the end of the podcast. This is some good stuff. So, but here's what's funny. So I'm going to back in my buddy at the harbor. There's 2 ramps, and there's a 60 boat local tournament going on. I go into back in my buddy. Now his truck had dark windows. It's high. I can't see.
Oh, it's a high schooler truck.
High schooler truck.
Yep.
Perfect scenario.
Yep.
Oh,
Guys,
wow.
I jacked up backing it up. I messed up. I couldn't get it right. And then as I'm trying to get it right, one of the dudes in the other tournament, who's an adult, said, "Hey son, get out of our way. You need more practice." And I said, "Hey, come to our weigh-in. I'll show you who has a bigger bag." I smarted off.
Oh no.
Okay, now their weigh-in was at 2:30, ours at 3. So I won the junior bass tournament that day. 3 fish for like 11.9.
That's pretty good.
Oh, and I had another one too. I could have had 4 for like 14. We were going for bigs. My buddy didn't catch any in the boat. I caught him on a 6XD. Their tournament was one with like a limit for 12 pounds. I would have got second in their tournament. And some of them stayed to watch, and they see me with these 5s. I had like 2 5s and a 3, like 11.9. One of the fish was like a 2.
Yeah.
So like the other 2 were freaking. I'll show you. The other 2 were good fish. I might have
So
had
you had
more.
like a 5, 3, and a 3.
Yes. And one of them was skinny.
Yeah.
And so they see me, and then I was looking for that guy. I was like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Where are you at?" Because I told him. So anyway, that was my last tournament at the harbor. There's some good stuff. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm moving driving the boat this year.
Yeah,
so we'll
you're about to be a captain.
Yep.
Yeah, just be patient.
Be patient.
Be patient. Well, guys, we appreciate you on this episode. Please hit like and subscribe. I said that kind of late. Please share it with anybody. Leave us a comment of your favorite thing we talked about in this video. Appreciate you guys. And
We enjoyed it.
we'll see you on the next one.